This week, President Obama joins other global leaders in New York City for the opening session of the UN. One of the transboundary issues he'll be discussing is global warming. All agree at this point that the Kyoto Protocol has failed. It failed because the target to decrease emissions was some 5% and was too low. It failed because large transitional nations like India and China were excluded, and it failed because U.S. leadership opted out. Predictably, world leaders now have a deeper hole out of which they must dig. In doing so, they would do well to focus on health as an outcome measure and to find strategies to manage the obvious consequences of this impending crisis. Where Kyoto focused on strategies to mitigate rises in carbonization of the environment, the chief culprit in global warming, by reducing the amount of carbon released into the atmosphere and by creating carbon sinks to draw off the substance, we are now faced with a more serious challenge. Not only do we need to plan mitigation, but we also need to prepare and resource intervention to deal with the inevitable, at least short-term, human disease fallout. Climate change is about to negatively impact human health in the following ways. Number one, it will increase natural disasters from storms, floods, drought, and wildfire, as well as excessive heat. These realities will in turn cause direct injuries, mass migrations, and diversion of resources which might normally go to societal infrastructure. Number two, rising temperatures will expand the range of various disease vectors, including mosquitoes, ticks, and rodents. Malaria will occur in higher altitudes than before, and dengue fever will appear farther north. Number three, food and waterborne illnesses will become more prevalent due to the higher temperatures, which encourage their occurrence and spread. Number four, air quality will decline as ozone, particulate matter, and allergens combine with the heat to create a deadly brew. Seniors will suffer more cardiac and respiratory disease, and youngsters more asthma. Number five, water-scarce areas are going to expand faster, creating famine, hygienic failure, migration, and violence. Lack of availability of clean, safe water will expand the already serious burden of waterborne diseases. And number six, the decline in both water quantity and quality will negatively compromise production of crops, livestock, and fisheries, expanding the number of global citizens who suffer hunger and famine. Now, this list is logical and the impact is predictable. All the more surprising, then, that global health leaders have largely been on the periphery of environmental policy, and that the environmental policy leaders have been laser-focused on energy and transportation sectors, but have largely ignored the health sector. I expect that is about to change. For Health Commentary, I'm Magee.